What's going on there, guys? Good afternoon. Good Friday afternoon, right? Finally Friday. Woohoo! It's the weekend. It's the Earthmaster here on this beautiful July 22nd, 2022 date. Whole bunch of twos in there. It is 1:20 p.m. West Coast time. Shows a latest quake on the globe shows a 2.5 in the area of the New Madrid zone. Latest quake popping up on the Earthquake 3D globe. Let's go ahead and check out some space weather activity first. We are expecting a ramping up of the geomagnetic conditions. We're looking at a possible G2 class storm. Now this is going to be late tonight, early tomorrow time frame. If we check on the detailed forecast up here, it kind of gives you the idea in the UTC date. Currently the UTC date is the 22nd, and we're sitting at 2020 on the 22nd. So around zero, it looks like 0 to 600 time frame. That's going to be a little bit later tonight. That's when we're expecting to see the G2 class storming conditions pick up. Now we are within this window of the G1 class storm, which is supposed to be hitting us right about now. I think it's a little bit late. Hopefully it hasn't missed us completely. But looking at the KP indexes here, we did drop down a little bit. Looks like we may be starting to ramp back up here in the KP index here. The planetary K index, it's a 3-hour data. Within the last hour or so, things appear to be picking back up. The live data showing looks like some elevated speed conditions stretching up towards the 600 mark. Now we are expecting some solar wind stream here to kick up around the 800 range, 800 km per second there. That's a pretty significant wind stream that will be coming from the sun and should be sparking up, like I mentioned, potentially G2 class storming conditions later. And we could see that aurora forecast stretch down into those northern states here. Probably North Dakota, Montana, Washington area. So we'll see how that plays out. Right now, the density is pretty low. When things arrive, so to speak, we'll see these things elevate, and we'll see the instability here in the planetary magnetic field, which is the BTBZ zone. Right now, it looks pretty stable, but we'll know. We'll definitely know when it hits us. We'll see a dramatic increase there in the conditions listed on the map. Latest coronal hole activity shows those coronal holes that are bringing us these potential G2 storming conditions later tonight. These are facing away from Earth now. Probably won't have any effect further. Sunspot activity. This is actually a little bit older image. The more recent image shows these coronal holes much further on the western limb here. These are some sunspots. As far as sunspot activity goes, pretty well minimal. It's green across the board here. Only a 70% chance of a C flare, less than 10% chance for all other significant flares. So we're not worried too much about any of these sunspots, which are just pretty much, what's a word I can use? Lollygagging. I think people use that word, don't they? I still do. That's what they're doing. They're just kind of sitting there, not doing anything, and they're just fading away, decaying, wasting time, so to speak. Around the bend, there's not a whole lot of new development, so we'll keep an eye on that. We could be entering into a little quiet period after the activity we're expecting tonight and tomorrow. All right, let's see what do we got for earthquake activity. Let's go over here to the USGS map, showing that 2.5 earthquake listed on the New Madrid fault system out here. Latest quake. It looks like it's right smack dab in the major hazard zone, right in the brown. At least it looks brown here, yellowish brown, kind of an ugly looking color. That is the main area of the New Madrid zone. Of course, the hazard zone extends beyond that, but this is kind of where it's at. This is all where it begins, or will begin. Who knows when? But this area definitely capable of producing some significant size earthquakes, such as that back in the early 1800s, when they seen upper sevens kick off here in a sequence of damaging earthquakes that was felt all over the eastern country here, eastern part of the country. So But for now, a 2.5 on that fault system out there. A little activity throughout Texas. Not a whole lot going on there. Let's bring up the all magnitudes here and see if we're missing anything. Nope. Pretty minimal today throughout the Texas and the southern southern plains area. Little activity around Yellowstone. We'll check out that map here in a little bit. Looking at the West Coast, activity today looks about the same as we've been looking at over the past couple days. Some minimal activity here within the last hour, though. We've seen a couple earthquakes around the Bodfish area of California, 2.2. This one just sits north of the I thought this is the White Wolf Fault Zone. Kind of extends over here. Kind of looks like it breaks up a little bit, but I think this fault system extends much further. Not showing it here on this map, but I believe this definitely connects over here. And some activity around the Ridgecrest area today. Down south, a little bit further south, it looks like around the Rancho Cucamonga area. Couple earthquakes, some very small ones, a 1.3 and a 1.4. 1.3, 1.4. Some movement down south, even further south, the Palm Desert region, a little small microquake. No major swarming going around the Salton Sea area. Things look somewhat quiet for that region. Eastern Sierra Nevada and in through the Nevada area, things kind of at a standstill currently. We're looking at a dropping off of activity here around the Eureka area. This area has seen quite a bit of swarming over the past few days, but looks a little quiet right now. 2.2, Washington. Okay, we're at in Washington. Looks like around the Ritzville area, south of 90, 2.2 at 8.6 kilometers. Don't see too much earthquake activity out here in eastern Washington. So little activity stretching there today. Looking at the rest of the flat scale model, showing some movement up throughout the Alaska region, although nothing major going on. Just your very typical microquake swarm up there along this major plate boundary. Japan, pretty quiet. This one here from last night. This earthquake here from last night, a 5.2. So things are very quiet once again around the Philippine plate and the northwestern portion of the Pacific Ring of Fire. The hotspot activity, if you want to call it the hotspot activity today, has been down in the Fiji area, Tonga Trench region. Seeing quite a bit of uptick, including a very super deep 620 kilometer almost a 5-pointer, a 4.9. I've been talking about some deep, large-scale activity we're waiting on here. It's just been kind of spotty. Normally these guys should have at least something above a 5, maybe at least a 6 in the deep department here really soon. But a 4.9 down there at 620, that's deep. But I don't think we're done yet with adjustment way down here in this area. We are getting some activity back building here along the Tonga Trench at much shallower earthquake activity, or much shallower depth here for these earthquakes. Notice the deep activity and the adjustment further upstream. New Zealand area pretty quiet for now. Along the Java Trench, only one earthquake. This one here is from yesterday afternoon time stamp there, 4.9. So things coming to a halt over here. I think once things really start getting going here, we're going to expect to see some further activity up here. But for now, I think the majority of the activity is along the west coast, the Alaska region, and this area right here. It's all dependent, basically, I think, what's going on right here for now. So we'll watch those 3 spots for some further adjustment elsewhere. In the Africa region, we've seen a 4.1 Tanzania area. Looks like a 10 kilometer depth there. Up north in the Mediterranean region, a 4.1 in the Crete area. This area does see quite a bit of earthquake activity. This one here from late last night. So again, older activity all across the board. You can pretty much draw a line right about here. I need to get me one of those draw on screens, right? You guys know any good ones? Drop them in the comments of this video here, and kind of want to check it out. I'm looking for a good one I can draw on screen while I'm trying to discuss stuff. Yes, there's an arrow, obviously, and I can make it 100 times bigger, but it'd be kind of cool to draw lines and X's here on this map to show you guys what I'm trying to say at times. It kind of helps not only me, but quite a few people out there. So let me know. I'll look around. I can't remember what they're called. What is it, a whiteboard? I think that's what they're called. But anyway, yeah, let me know if you guys know any good ones, and let me know where to find them. Or maybe you have one for sale. All right, South America, pretty quiet. South Sandwich Trench down here, seeing a 5.1. Again, this was yesterday activity. Looking at the Yellowstone seismograph stations here, shows some earthquake movement. Very small microquake activity here within the last few hours and overnight. And this morning it looks like a couple small microquakes in the northwest corner of Yellowstone National Park, it looks like, as far as the epicenters go. And USGS was showing that up here on the map. We'll go ahead and bring up the all magnitudes. Get a... Ooh, what happened there? There we go. A little bit of activity. 1.7 looks to be the largest in this little, very small cluster of quakes. Again, these are very small microquakes and not that big of a deal at all. Nothing going on across the eastern country here. South America, or the South Carolina region, looks pretty quiet today. Let's see, what else do we have? Any changes at the volcanoes anywhere? Things look about the same here across the map when it comes to the USGS monitoring. The hazard notification system, known as HANS, shows about the same. Looking at the AVO, the Alaskan Volcano Observatory, daily updates, no major changes going on there. Nothing new at Yellowstone. Hawaii, looks like the weekly update at Mauna Loa continues. That was put out yesterday. We'll check out the Kilauea update. I'm sure this is the same. It has continued. The eruption continues, and it's been going on for quite a while. But it's all been confined to the crater, and current data indicate that this scenario is likely to continue. Crazy, huh? It just continues and continues and continues. But no major adjustments or changes going on there currently. All right, guys, Friday. Man, I'm pretty excited. Done with schooling for right now. Summer classes. I don't know if I'll take summer classes anymore. It's pretty jam-packed in a short amount of time period. At least I won't take as many classes. Anyway, a little bit of freedom going on here. So we'll chat you guys a little bit later tonight with the update. We'll have Missy Mimi's on here too, and we'll do any question and answers that you guys might have. We'll do that a little bit later on tonight. Till then, enjoy your Friday. It's going to be another hot one, about 105 here in California. And that's it. Nothing going on besides that. Heat. A lot of heat. All right, guys, take care. We'll see you tonight. Peace out, everyone.